Hello and welcome back to the monthly summer update of the I'm Hungry podcast. I'm Foster,
I'm Daniel.
and we're back here with the second half of the summer update. I was just looking at the comments, and your dad actually left a good idea.
Oh,
On the last one, he's talking about how um, our first like season, if you call it that. I like the idea of calling it a season. I think that's fun.
yeah.
Um, it was about like going from high school to college, and he said that this next season could be about like going to college after going to like COVID college,
Right.
and like just seeing how they're different, and like how they're changing.
Yeah, I actually I saw that too. I think that's a good idea. We can definitely make that a theme rather
So
than just being like going from freshman to sophomore year.
yeah,
Sounds more interesting to.
have a eye out for
Mhm.
that, audience. Keep get excited. Get excited for updates, I guess.
Yes. And then was there another suggestion for a segment or something?
I didn't see any. I just saw the one comment on the most
Okay.
recent video.
I
There might
think
have
there
been
was.
one on like a previous. I'm not sure though. We'll look at it later.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, we've both been playing Star Wars role playing together in person over the
yeah,
past
that's
few
right.
weeks. That's something that we've both been doing.
It's really fun. Yeah, I'm having a great time. Daniel is the DM, so he's making all the story and stuff. And
Oh, the GM actually,
DM,
Foster.
GM, well,
The
same
game
thing,
master is
same
not the dungeon
thing.
master.
Anyways, but yeah,
Yeah, I'm making all the story. Foster is one of our intrepid characters.
my guy he's a Mon Calamari, and I set him up to be like a really like intelligent sort of like nerdy kind of character. He has like huge glasses. That's like a big character trait about him, and he has like a really high intellect stat, and like he doesn't really do much else besides like know shit. But like
Okay, but then
in the
last
most
session you like murdered
yeah
everybody.
in the most recent like session that we played, he went kind of crazy. But I mean, that's what we're doing though. That's what we're turning into like a gang
I
basically.
mean, you don't have to. You can do whatever you want. I feel like your character
That's what
just
I
all of a
want to
sudden
do.
like
That's what I want to
saw
do.
red and just decided to kill everything.
I
All
don't
right,
know.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe I was a
Well,
little murder happy
I
that
think well, I
day.
think you should play it like your character like wanted to I don't know, your character just was kind of sick of all the talk. You know, you should play it off, like um play it like
I'll come up with something.
yeah, like give it some sort of more meaning than just
Me kill
Foster wanted to
people.
murder everything.
Yeah. Fucking. But
So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, you guys are kind of turning into like,
it's
yeah, I mean,
fun though.
you're like a group of outlaws a little bit
Yeah.
right now, but like no one really knows you that you're all together.
Yeah.
Um, they're traveling. Your group is traveling with a Jedi right after Order 66.
Well, not
That
anymore. Rip.
oh yeah, well they got stabbed at the end of the last. I mean, but you don't know if they're dead or alive right now.
Oh, yeah, that's
They
true.
might
I guess
they
so.
might make
I
it. They
guess
might.
so.
You rescued the body, so they might make it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
We'll see.
I think we talked about it before, but it's like if anybody listening has never played a role playing game in the vein of like Dungeons and Dragons or something like that, definitely do because it's a lot of fun. Some of the most fun I've ever had playing like any game of like any kind, honestly.
Yeah, it's like a. I mean, it's like a board game where you don't have
It's imagination.
imagination. It's an imaginary board game,
But yeah,
and even more than that, it's kind of like an imaginary movie.
what's your
Well,
favorite? Like, what is your favorite like tabletop role playing game?
Probably Edge of the Empire.
Yeah,
The Star Wars one.
I've only played D&D 5e and Edge of the Empire, but I definitely like Edge of the Empire better so far. I think we talked about that.
Yeah. I've only played. It's kind of the other way around for me. I've mostly played Edge of the Empire. That was the first one I played, and then 5e I played like once or twice. And I mean, like I've said it before, Dungeons and Dragons has a better rule set, but like better structure for how you actually are supposed to play it. But then the Star Wars one is just fun because it's
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars and
Yeah.
it's just
It's
cool.
got a better like mythos around it, I feel. Like
Yeah,
there's the timeline of just like Order 66 and all that that you can like build off of, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Rather
right.
than
Didn't we have this same conversation the last
yeah, I'm
time
pretty
I
sure we
played?
did. That was like the first time. Yeah. Fucking what did you
What
do?
else has
What
been
have you
going
been
on?
Yeah, what have you been
Oh,
up to lately?
um,
You were shoveling rocks or something, you said?
yeah, I was shoveling a bunch of dirt and rocks today for my mom's landscape company kind of like has a affiliation or like just kind of like a partnership with this other guy's contractor company. So like, she'll make designs and then she recommends this guy.
Hmm.
And so he was short staffed today. So I just went out and worked. Got paid a lot, so that was nice, but it sucked.
Yeah, it's
It was
fucking
just in the
hot.
middle of the day, really hot. For all of you international or out of state listeners,
We're both
we're
from
in Arizona.
Arizona. Yeah, we're both
Yeah,
from
in the middle
Arizona.
of the summer, so it's very hot.
We're
Like
getting like
over,
112, 115.
yeah, it was pretty bad.
Around this time, if it goes below 100, we'll all be like, whoa, it's not
Yeah,
hot out today. It'll be like
yeah.
90,
90 is a
96,
love. That's like a lovely day. I'll go
96,
outside
yeah.
and do whatever. I'll play outside all day in 96
Nah,
degree weather.
I don't even go outside during the summer. I hate the summer here. I
You've
li-
mentioned that before.
literally don't even go outside. Like, I'll be like, oh, like I want to skateboard today, and then I remember, oh wait, it's the summertime.
It's summer.
I can't do that.
It's so sad.
I
Like,
know it's very upsetting sometimes. I'm just like I can't do anything.
have you tried recently to just do it?
Yeah, I went to this little skate park by my new house that I'm in, and I was there for like 20 minutes, and I just was drenched in sweat. Because the thing about me too is that like I sweat a lot, just more than the average person, anyways. So like in the summer, it's just like
Oh yeah.
terrible. It's just like 5 minutes outside, and my pits are already sweating. 10 minutes,
Yeah.
my face is pretty sweaty. 20 to 30, and I'm like drenched, and it's
Yeah.
just terrible. That's
Was it the
why.
sweat? The
What?
sweat's the worst part for it. Like, cause I can, as long as it's not actually like too hot for me, I'm okay with like my shirt being like just wet with like that's how it was this morning. But then once it starts to get so hot that like the sweat no longer helps at all, and you're just kind of
Rubbing
you're
around like warm water on your
yeah, like
body.
I mean, yeah, like the sweat itself is fine, but once the heat actually once it's the heat that becomes unbearable for me, not the sweat.
Nah, it's always the sweat for me. It's just like my entire body gets enveloped. It's just like I it's so wet. It's everything is so wet, and it's nasty. My socks,
Yeah,
my pants. Like if I get sweaty enough, you'll be able to see like it through my pants and stuff. Like me sweating because my legs and just like my general lower
yeah, like
body is like sweating so much.
I like peeled off my socks after I was done working today, and I had like a tan line, but just dirt, so like
Yeah,
white feet, and obviously the socks were disgusting and like wet, but white feet, and then right at my ankle was like a line of dirt, and then
yeah.
it was like a gradient up my leg until it got less, it was like most dirty at that line, and then it got
I
better
go.
as it went out, but it
Yeah,
was pretty nasty.
yeah.
Ugh.
Winter time. That's why winter time is my favorite season. That's why I prefer the cold more than the heat. That's why.
So depressing though. Wintertime's like not
What are you talking
happy.
about? No way. It's way
And the
happier.
weather might be nice, but it's like it's just depressing.
No, you're wrong. You're incorrect. But yeah, it's just like I can't. It's been like that my whole life. I remember like in fifth grade and stuff when we do like PE outside. we'd come back in and like kids would ask me literally like, "Why are you still sweating?" And I'd be like, I would get super self conscious. I'd just be like, I don't know. Like, I was hella self conscious about it. I was like, I don't want to sweat like anymore because kids are gonna be like hella weird about it. Just be like, why are you sweating? Like, I don't know, son. We're in Arizona, but yeah, that's why I did swim. Swim. You're in a pool, so no one
Yeah.
sees you sweating because you're everybody's wet. Football, it was just like everybody's sweating their ass off because you're wearing big ass pads in the sun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I never thought about it. That must suck.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Oh, well, something else that I'm doing, that Owen is kind of involved with, uh, is making that a Captain America shield that bounces around, like it does in the movie. Because
how are you
I,
gonna make that?
well, I saw a video where a guy did it. It was one of those like YouTube channels
Oh,
where
was it like the hacksmith or
it was
something?
like one of those guys. It wasn't a hacksmith. It was Jay Laser or something like
I've
that.
never
Like,
seen him. I've never seen
yeah.
that guy.
So it was one of those videos, and so I was expecting something like really expensive and complicated, and just something fun to watch. But it turns out like he had a really good idea. Basically, he just said, "Well, we need to make a frisbee that behaves like a bouncy ball and not like a frisbee." Because like when you throw a frisbee, it hits the wall,
And it sort of
it de it
stops.
it deforms, it just drops because the plastic deforms and the vibrations throw off its spin,
Did he
so
just
it
put
doesn't just
like?
come back.
Did he just put like a bouncy material on over like the rim or something,
He
or the
basically
circumference?
he made a ring. He got a fiberglass fishing net ring, like the hoop for a fishing net,
Mm-hmm.
because fiberglass has a really high like elasticity. Like I
Young's
forget the exact.
Young's modulus is the term actually.
Actually, okay, yeah, sure.
Material
So it
science
has like
engineer right here.
it has a very yes.
I know
Uh,
all of the proper terminology.
Yes, there we go. There we go. Well, okay, so it has a high Young's modulus, is that?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Um, and so he just ended up stretching like fabric latex over it and then putting a carbon fiber, like the carbon fiber shield part was kind of just suspended in the middle by the latex.
Yeah.
So and then around the edges he just protected the fiberglass with or protected the latex actually with more carbon fiber, and then it was pretty amazing how well it worked. Like it just you throw it and it just it's
Bounces all over
spinning.
the place.
Yeah, like it's spinning, it hits the wall, it compresses and stores all its kinetic energy as potential spring energy, and then just bounces back with basically the same amount of spin. Like there's some if you throw it the opposite direction to the way it's spinning, then there's a little bit of loss, but it was surprisingly little. And so he could do like two bounces was like easy, and three bounces was it would be a little bit floppy by the time it was done and slow, but it would still be flying. But like three, he could just go in a corner and throw it and go doink doink and fly right back.
That's pretty
Uh,
sick.
and like yeah, like over long distances too. So I actually found the website where that he ordered the fishing hoops, and it was hilarious because on their website they now have an entry for special half thickness 2 foot hoops for Captain America shield. Like that's the name
Really?
of the item.
Because
Yeah.
so many people were just like, I
Yeah, so
want
many people
this.
have like been buying them.
That's
So
that's actually cool that he was
I
able to
know
like.
it's just this random like so this site just has a crap ton of fishing nets and hoops and supplies, and then one item is based on a YouTube video. Here's a thing that will let you make a bouncing Captain America
That's
shield.
cool. Yeah, that he was
Yeah.
able to like his video was like so popular that
Yeah.
they literally like were like, fuck, I guess
We need inventory for this.
we'll make that ourselves. Like if
Because in
people are
the video
buying.
he bought the hoop and it was too thick and
Yeah, he like
it
had
wouldn't
to like
fly, so he had to Dremel it down, and so just they were like, well, let's just make a half thickness one and more people will buy it.
yeah.
Uh,
That's
so that
cool.
was nice. And then I'm not going to try and go all out with the carbon fiber and make like a shield if I don't have to, because there's this cool toy called a BMO. I may have talked about it before. It's like a big fabric frisbee. It's really light and it flies really far. It's really easy to throw.
I don't think I've ever heard of
Um,
this now.
and the it has basically just like a stretchy. It has a hole in the center like a donut, and it's just super flat, and it has just like a stretchy spandex coating
I
or a
feel like I may
spandex.
have seen one of these before.
Yeah, they're really cool. They're like for little kids, but they're really enjoyable to play with, like to throw, because you can throw them really
Yeah.
far, and they like you can throw them like Captain America, because like throwing a real frisbee like Captain America with like the the overhand,
The arm
like
gauntlet thing.
yeah, it's like it takes some skill, but with this one, with the giant BMO that we have, you just throw it and it goes. Like you can throw it however you want and it'll fly.
It's pretty
Um,
sick.
so my idea was just I ordered another one of those and some spray on plasti dip, which is like a
It's like the
plastic
spray
coating.
on shoes from
Yeah,
Cloudy with
literally
a
spray
Chance of
on shoes.
Meatballs.
Yes. Um, so basically my plan is to just take the fiberglass hoop, modify the sleeve of the new BMO so that it can fit over it perfectly, and then spray the edge and maybe some of the inside of the, mostly just the edge with the plasti dip, and then hopefully, because it says it's impact and abrasion like proof, so hopefully you'll be able to throw it and the fabric won't tear and it'll behave like Captain America's shield, but it should just still look like a BMO.
Yeah.
So it's like, and if it doesn't, and it also allows room for flexibility because essentially you're left with what the guy had, a cheaper version of what the guy had, but without the shield covering like the center part. And so if it doesn't fly well, you can always add something like that to give it more of a frisbee shape.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm still waiting on the BMO, but I have the plastic dip and the ring. Oh, and we
Nice.
tested. Owen and I strapped taped a garbage bag over the thing like really tightly,
Yeah.
and we threw it. And I threw it against the wall from like 10 feet away. It came back and hit me in the waist.
Really.
It was like it worked surprisingly well. After that throw, though, the garbage bag tore and it started to not
Uh,
work as well. But if it was tough and you could
yeah.
do it over and over again, like it would go.
Too many people. We're gonna have too many Captain Americas around. Too many people are
Just
gonna be
people don't
doing
use
this.
things. So anyway, that's like current.
That's what you've
That's
been
like
up
my
to.
current side project. But
Yeah.
I'm doing a Lego project, and I just finished The Stranger by Billy Joel that I mentioned last
Oh yeah,
time.
you emailed it to me. I need to watch that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So kind of just working through my projects one by one.
Hey, you should post it to the channel. I'm sure the viewers would
Maybe,
love to see it.
all right, yeah, maybe I will. Our
Um,
9 viewers.
yeah, you know.
How many viewers do we get? Like we have
It
nine
depends.
subscribers.
It depends. Like some videos get 12, some videos get like more than 12.
Okay. Well, if it's, that's a
Yeah,
nice
like we
thing.
got like 9, 12, 8, 14, 9, 17.
Wow. Wait, who's watching these?
Whoa. Our first episode has 40 views.
Holy
That's
crap.
crazy. Huh,
What?
cool.
So do you think people are searching for like something and we're an accidental result?
Nah, we're just blowing up, Daniel. We're getting our names finally getting out there. Nah, but what was I gonna
It's
say?
fun.
Yeah, but yeah, that's cool. You got so much stuff going on, all your projects and
Yeah.
stuff.
How
I
about you?
I've got I got some projects. I'm not like doing anything like crazy. I was just actually today I was making I have this like CAD software on my laptop that I got it through ASU. They
Is it which one is it?
It's Fusion 360.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Yeah, from what I'm told, it's not like a super comprehensive one. It's like kind of a beginner one. It's not. I don't think it's like as intricate as like SolidWorks,
Yeah.
but it does the job. And I was like designing a like sort of just like the base like Mark One prototype of like the I'm not sure if I told you about it, but like this idea for like like something to help like roll things with like herbs, if you could say that.
Wait, what?
If you get what
Roll
I'm putting
things?
down.
No.
Weed.
Oh.
Yeah. I have this idea where it's like it's gonna be like a trainer for like rolling joints, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Have you ever seen like those baseballs that they would sell at like Big Five, and it would have like all of the lines on it to like where you place your fingers to like throw certain pitches. So like it'd be like
Oh, yeah, I guess.
put your fingers here for like a two seam fastball, fingers here for like a four seam passball, fingers here for a curve, fingers here for like a screwball, something like
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah, okay.
I have this idea where it's gonna be something like that, and it's gonna have like lines for like however sort of like size or like style that you're trying to like roll.
Nice.
Um,
I did not know there were different sizes and styles.
I
They're
mean,
curveball.
it's not like too complicated. I'm really just banking on the fact that weed is now legal in Arizona, right? And it's only
Yeah,
going to continue being legalized across the U.S. So I'm trying to capitalize on that market.
I see.
And B, um, it's going to be relatively easy if how it works, if how I have it planned out actually like works through, because there's this one really big and really like actually like really good like rolling paper company called Raw, and it's all run by this one guy, and he's a super good guy too. Like he does like a ton of charity work, and like he does like he's super like I've watched a lot of interviews with him, and he's like super like activist. Like he goes like Cambodia and like helps all the people over there, like donates a bunch of water to them and all that shit. So like great guy
Oh.
all around first off, but then like he runs this company, and I was looking at like all their website and stuff, and there's like literally a link that's like if you have ideas for products, like you can send us your
Oh,
ideas right here, or if like you already have a patent or something, like there's another like link right there that if you have like the patent, like we can work something out if you like. So basically my idea is just like get this thing patented, and then go to them and just have basically just be like, here's my idea, like let's cut a deal, and you just do all the distribution, I guess, and
yeah.
like manufacturing. I'll just give you like I'll give you like 75% or something like that. I don't know. I don't even
Yeah.
know like what a good like deal would be, but I'd have to look into.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like that's my idea, uh, and then like you're able to like sort of deconstruct it as you go. So as you get better, you like because it's gonna be like a sort of like a rod or something like that, and then as you get better, you can like make it shorter and shorter so that it's more akin to rolling without it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, if you smoke weed, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah,
I don't, so I don't
yeah,
know
yeah,
exactly.
I know, I know. I'm just saying, like that's the idea I have, and that's what I'm working on, and that's what I just did in Fusion 360. Is I like made
Nice.
like a really basic mock-up. I didn't really make it to scale because I still need to see what the scales are, and then like I still need to put in the locking mechanisms for like the deconstruction part, and then some other stuff. But
Well, that's cool. I mean, it sounds like yeah. I mean, it sounds like a good business venture. If you already, because you already have like an avenue for it to go once you have it. You know,
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
that's pretty
yeah, I
solid.
mean that's what I did today. That's what I was thinking about. Other than that, just doing. I'm taking a summer school class right now
Oh yeah.
for calc, so I've been doing that.
Oh yeah. How's that going?
It's not going bad. It's not going too bad. My teacher, he's a little he's kind of scatterbrained sometimes. They're like to not today because we didn't have class today, but yesterday like one of the problems he like made it all the way through, and then he was like, "Wait, I messed up and this is all wrong." And he was like, "I need to look at my notes more. I'm sorry." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like he's a really nice guy, and like I could tell he knows what he's talking about. It's just like
Yeah.
he's also kind of younger, and I don't think he is too accustomed to teaching yet.
Yeah.
So he's still trying to figure out like his style of teaching, which is definitely respectable that he's actually trying to figure out a way to teach rather than just like going with a pre-established sort of like style. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right. Yeah.
And then because that's what my last teacher did, and I hated him because his the
Yeah. I
style.
remember
Yeah,
that
the
guy.
style. Or what do you say?
I remember that. Like, yeah, we had many episodes about that guy.
Literally hate him. Style he chose the worst thing ever. Um, but yeah, so that's going well so far. Cleaned my room. I hung out with Will the other day. That was
Oh,
fun.
cool.
That was cool. We just
How's
got
Will?
he's good. We just got like, lunch and just talked.
Got a what?
Got lunch,
Oh,
just talked. Other than that, not too much. I mean, yeah, not really. My sleep schedule's been absolutely terrible this past week. Like,
Was it ever good? Like, did it get normal?
I mean,
I mean, honestly,
no.
every time I hear you talk about your sleep schedule, it's never like, oh, my sleep schedule is totally
When
normal
I'm
right
well, when I'm
now.
not talking about my sleep schedule, that means it's good,
Okay,
probably.
okay.
But when I
Oh,
am, that means it's bad.
all right.
But this time it's like extra bad. It's like
Oh,
very bad.
like worse than it, because I remember it was like
Yeah,
really,
this is probably the worst it's ever been.
oh my, like how bad? Like,
I will like yesterday I went to I fell asleep at like 7 a.m. and then slept until like 9:30 p.m. So I literally slept through the entire day.
whoa, yeah.
And yeah,
Why though? Like,
I've just been up since then basically, I think.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But yeah, it's just like things just get so things just get so switched around for me so easily for some reason. I don't know why. It's
Yeah,
just like it just happens like that. I don't know why. It just does.
uh, is
Like
it like you're doing something, you just like, keep doing it
no,
instead
it's
of,
literally just like I'm like I don't want to go to bed.
oh yeah.
Like I don't want to sleep. I have like an adverse uh opinion towards rest. And I always have. That's the thing. Ever since I was little, I've always been like fuck sleep. Like why do we need to sleep? Like what is that? Why?
Yeah, but there's like a lot of good reasons and pretty much no bad ones.
Yeah, but they're literally
You're just
all
angry. You're angry that, or like you don't like that we do have to.
yeah, it's all
Yeah.
arbitrary. It's like it's the
I
good
wouldn't say it's
the
arbitrary.
the good parts are only good because our body requires it.
Oh yeah.
But why does our body require it? That's my question.
You can't.
What?
It's just like it's like running a machine all the time. It's gonna break. You have to let it stop. You have to service it every often, or just at least just let it stop running. You know.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess.
I mean, why aren't you angry at food then? Why do like?
Because that makes that.
Why does that make more sense than sleep? It's fuel for the machine,
You
and
know,
then
okay.
sleep is like turning the machine off for a bit to let it cool down, whatever.
I guess I've never really thought about it that way, but I also kind of have in the same way because I'm thinking a lot about like sort of like mysticism lately.
About what?
Like more mysticism and like sort
Oh,
of like mystic like ideas and like going at that same round of like sleep is turning our body off. Like what are dreams? What is that?
okay. All right,
Like
all right. So it's not literally.
our brain is obviously still like
Yeah.
active kind of then,
All
but
right,
like
all
at
right.
the
Let's
same
let's
time it's
let me
like
change
not.
my let me change my
But
uh
that's
you
what I'm
know
saying. That's what
like it's like putting your computer to sleep, right? It's like letting it because it's overheated or it's getting glitchy, so you put it to sleep for a while. If this is an old computer, or whatever. But it's like computer still lets background functions.
that's what I'm saying. Like, what if our society has focused way too much on the scientific aspect of life, and we've gotten too far removed from the shamans of like the old times of like the indigenous people where they're like connected to the astral world and all that. And what if we just like have like lost that aspect and like in a modern sense, like if we were to like regain that, maybe like our civilization would be like catapulted into new heights with the combination of modern shamanism and modern science. Wouldn't that be crazy if like that's the
Sure.
key? If like that's the key that we're missing?
I mean, sure, but you have to remember. Well, at least I am heavily of the opinion that science is there's no such thing as like science has changed. It's like everything is science. So any kind of mysticism or astral plane can all be explained by science. We just haven't yet,
But that's
And
the
things,
thing. That's the thing. What if it
but
just
you can't do something that you you haven't figured out yet. You know, like how are we going to suddenly we can't suddenly say, all right, let's
Well,
practice this thing which we can scientifically support it not really doing anything except helping you
but we can
psychologically. And suddenly our
scientifically
society will be projected to the
we can
astral plane.
scientifically prove the existence of higher dimensions, and that's a fact.
Sure.
Like a tesseract, that is a three-dimensional shadow of a fourth-dimensional cube. We can't even like we can't identify what a
So
fourth
is a
dimension.
circle or a sphere.
A
You
sphere
know,
is a sphere is a two-dimensional shadow of a
no, three-dimensional.
three-dimensional sphere.
No. A sphere is a three-dimensional shadow of a four-dimensional sphere. Whatever, a four-dimensional something.
No, a sphere is a three-dimensional sphere.
What? You're just saying that a sphere is a sphere. I'm
Then a
saying a
no, then a
sphere.
square, then like a cube would be a fourth-dimensional shadow, or
No, no,
a
no, 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 no.
third-dimensional shadow of a fourth-dimensional cube. But it's not. A tesseract is. It's a different thing.
Wait, is a tesseract four-dimensional?
Yeah, it's a fourth
Well,
dimension.
oh,
It's
right.
a
Okay, so that's the four-dimensional cube. A four-dimensional cube is called a tesseract. I don't. I'm sure there's a name for a
I don't
four-dimensional
know. I don't
cube.
know. I don't know. I'm not gonna
I'm saying
argue.
there's a four-dimensional shape for every. There's a four-dimensional object that can project anything
But
onto the three-dimensional plane.
us,
We have names for the three-dimensional things, but we don't necessarily have names for all the four-dimensional things.
either way, there is scientific proof of higher dimensions.
Sure.
What if, what if this like magic that I'm talking about exists in the sense of these higher dimensions, and
Then
they
it's still science. Like it's still just the
but it's
universe.
not science that we can understand, nor can we ever hope to understand. So
Why?
it
Why are
will
you putting us in a box like that, though?
because
It's
we're
not.
literally incapable of comprehending higher dimensional things.
Well, okay, yeah, sure.
So, but
But how do you know that
it
you make
doesn't
a
mean they don't
computer that can?
exist. It doesn't mean they don't exist.
Well, of
So,
course, that's the point of science. We don't
but
need to
that's what I'm saying.
comprehend.
That's what I'm
The
saying.
point of
So,
science
if
is
somehow we're able to harness these like higher dimensional concepts and things and like use them in some physical sense in our real world, that would be like magic, right? Because
yeah.
yes, it is
Okay.
science. Yes, it is somehow it's explainable by the laws of that dimension, but we literally can't even comprehend that because we're not of that dimension. We are not able to like be a part of that part of life. You know what I mean? Does that
Well,
make
I
sense?
don't know. I think we can theoretically explain phenomena in higher dimensions. Like you can do that mathematically with pretty much infinite dimensions. It just, to some extent mathematically, and I'm sure there's things astronomically that you can explain. Like you can explain some of the mechanisms of higher dimensional stuff, even though we can't observe it, because we can
I
assume.
feel like being able to explain something like that requires like an intimate understanding of it, and that's just something we'll never be able
But
to,
why though?
because you need to understand how it works in order to explain it, right? I
Well,
don't
yeah,
know.
but what if you can extrapolate how it works from data, from what you do already know?
Then it would
Like
all
that's
be
not
like
science.
it would all be theoretical because you just have no way
Yeah.
to you have no way to experiment with it. You have no way to like
Well, no, you do have ways to experiment with it. You have mathematical proofs. You have logical proofs of mechanisms, right? We can look at the analogy from two
I
dimensions
get
to three
yeah.
dimensions and apply it to further dimensions, right? Like we have
So
the
would that
tools.
make so say if we're able to harness some type of higher dimensional power
Okay.
and use it in our real life, so like I'm you gonna use like Harry Potter for example. Say like all of Harry Potter's spells are just like wizards, like certain people that are able to tap into like a fifth dimensional like life stream or something like that, and they're using that to create these spells.
Okay.
That being observed long enough and in a scientific sense, yeah, okay, we could like come up with new discoveries about this fifth dimension. Would that make us fifth dimensional beings?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, well,
Can you jump up in
I don't know.
dimensions
But I have no idea.
through
Sure there's research
observation,
about this. I'm sure there's research
through
about like
observation and like proving and like the scientific method involving higher dimensions? If you are able to like observe it in a consistent fashion and
Wait,
experiment
so
with
you're,
it,
okay, so you're
are
saying
you able
so
to
you think
rise
science can do
above?
that, but shamanism, like if you like, smoke some magic mushrooms and
But
meditate, you can
what
like move up.
if? But like, what I'm trying to say is, what if like shamanism is the next part of science in that sense?
Well, yeah, but I'm sure it has been studied and we understand what exactly chemically what
But it's not
everything
though.
that you do
That's
does
see,
to you.
that's where you're wrong because
Okay.
so much of these like uh, magic mushrooms and like LSD and like specifically psychedelics, all of the like there's been such little research over the past like decades, which is when most of our scientific developments and like booms have happened because they've been outlawed for so long, right?
Okay.
So much research just hasn't been done on them. So
Yeah.
we
So you're
haven't.
saying that there might be some effects of, like, say, a mushroom that like are higher dimensional qualities. Like the mushroom has some sort of higher dimensional analog that we are experiencing when you eat the mushroom or something.
Not
Like it has a.
necessarily. Like that saying that sentence kind of sounds crazy.
Well,
Definitely
okay, no,
does.
no, but I was actually thinking, okay, what if I don't have, again, on I'm Hungry, we don't really have that much, we don't look at evidence on here, but like,
Yeah.
what if every object has,
Its own
a,
use and like quality that is like untapped potential for the universe or whatever.
yeah, like an object exists in all dimensions at once, but we can only perceive in three, or something just like, I would, I don't know if I could say I would believe that, but like, I feel like that's something that could happen. I
Oh,
don't know. Like,
I
I
definitely
don't think
think
it's
that
crazy
like
to say that
everything
there's some
exists in
sort of.
all dimensions, but we can only perceive in like a certain amount. I think that's definitely true.
Sure. Okay, sure, but I mean, but there might be,
'Cause
like,
we can't even see most of the colors, most of the like color spectrum. You know,
yeah, but
there's only
so
a
it's
certain
all
amount of
perception.
visible
But
light.
like, you could say, like, what if this rock isn't, it just depends on what another dimension actually is. Like it could, like, there could be. Well, I mean, yeah, okay, sure, we'll just go with that for now. But
I'm thinking like life is a video game. Listen, don't even get me started on that concept. I legit think that we are in a like video game like simulation akin to like The Sims or something like that. But that's like a whole nother can of worms. I'm thinking
okay,
like life is a video game, and in our like crafting table that we just haven't learned how to use like magic like mushrooms or
magic.
LSD or like
Okay, I
psychedelics
learned
in
how
general,
to
like
make magic mushroom soup.
DMT. Like we haven't utilized them in the way that they're supposed to be utilized. If
Well,
that
not
makes
supposed to
sense.
be, but can be.
Like to their max potential in terms of
Sure,
like a scientific sense. I think, yeah, yeah.
sure. Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
that could
yeah.
be. I have no idea. But like, my only point is that all of that, everything is science. Like there's no such thing as like science is this one thing and shamanism is this other
Okay,
thing.
yes, I'll agree to that. I'll
Everything
agree to that.
is logic and
But
rules.
I think that modern like bringing shamanism slash mysticism slash like indigenous like ayahuasca ceremonies, whatever the fuck that falls into. I think that bringing that kind of stuff into the modern age and applying our modern ideas of the scientific method of like hypothesis, experiment,
Yeah,
observe, like bringing that kind of stuff and applying
which
it
means
to that.
studying, just
What?
taking another look at it with current tools.
I think that is the next frontier
Okay,
for humanity,
you know
if
that
that
there's.
makes sense. Like
All right,
we hit space. We're still kind of working on space, but I don't think space is gonna happen for a long time. We hit space. We've hit like the world,
Not
oceans,
really though. We don't really know that much about the world, like at
like
least
land.
the ocean.
But
Okay, land on the world.
the ocean is where that area is locked right now. Like we can't get to that yet. We haven't unlocked the necessary materials. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're constrained by our earthly uh, materials. Literally, like we can't build something strong enough to withstand that pressure. So
Yeah.
once we go into space, it's like a fucking video game, dude. Literally, like you get to the higher levels and you
Right,
unlock.
it's like a video game because we're living the people who made the video games live in the universe, so they make the
You
video games like to be like the
you
universe.
get to the higher levels, i.e., space. You unlock some new thing, and you go back to the older levels and unlock more new shit. Like we're gonna go to space. We're gonna find some super metal that is incredibly strong because it's on Venus or some shit
Vibranium.
where the pressure is like literally 10 million times that of like Earth's. Not 10 million, but like the surface of Venus is
Some dark.
the surface of Venus is equivalent to like extremely deep down in the ocean. So the types of metals that are on Venus that are in like Venus's like sort of like core and like not core but like ground have to be like insane. You know what I mean? So once we
Hold on, we
terraform,
can drop a rock down to the bottom of the ocean. It's probably not going to change all that much,
it's
like
gonna
on
get
Earth.
fucked. What do you mean?
What?
Yeah,
There are rocks at the bottom. The whale carcasses fall to the bottom of the ocean, and they don't get all that insanely smushed.
yeah, but you can't go. Okay, put yourself in a rock and go to the bottom of the ocean then.
Yeah, it's because you have like a bunch of air pockets in your like you're not a solid thing. You know, you're not an income. You're like a fluid, or you're more like
Okay.
you're gaseous and weird and floppy.
So
But if you
maybe
put something that's
once we
basically
go to the
incompressible.
astral realm and unlock the ability to harden ourselves into a solid material, we can go down to the bottom of the ocean.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sure. Life is a video game.
I'm telling you, man.
What if life is what if we're all like super or like we all committed some heinous crime
And this is
in our
like
actual life, and this is our punishment, or this is our rehabilitation.
that'd be fucked.
I
Because
feel so bad
why
about
would
Trevor.
how would why what would the point of that be? Not like having us understand like the reason that we're here. Then it like
Well, because you live this whole life and you're like a good person, and then you die, and then you're like, oh
and they're
my
like,
god, what
okay,
did
you
I
did it
do?
good this time. You passed.
Or well, I know you just like they just let you go because you just like well, yeah. I mean, I guess okay, maybe there's like a low because if you just come
So
here, if you're just here
reincarnation.
and yeah, no, it's like all right,
Like you
man,
just keep going until you're
you're
good.
an alien in another dimension, and you like killed somebody, and so they put you in this prison, which is like a new life on this made up other dimension. You die, and you go back to that dimension, and you like, and now you have all these
Do you
memories from
think
something that never happened, and you're like,
how are you imagining dimensions? Are you imagining them like different? Like say you have like four
no, no,
spheres.
no, 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 no. I wasn't saying like maybe whatever another
Are you
multiverse.
imagining them like entirely different things, like just entirely? Like
No,
do you think that dimensions exist in parallel of each other, or
I have no idea. I'm sure there.
I think of dimensions more as like layers.
Yeah, that could be true too. I was using dimensions just as a throwaway word to, okay, we'll say another place in the universe or whatever, or like the same dimension, what like the same level, whatever. It can be anything, but you're just not Earth doesn't actually exist. None of this, none of what humans exist or whatever.
This
You're
is
just a
like
different.
jail.
Yeah. It's just jail for a while, and when you're done, you're like good because, you know,
So is that
'cause-
reincarnation?
not really because you already had.
Or maybe it's just like
It's just a simulation. It's like a
maybe
video
it's
game.
just like you got to figure out the right path, and then once you figure
Yeah.
out the right path, then you get up to the next level. But what's the right path? And no one knows because no one
Well,
knows what
no, the
happens,
right path is
and
all right.
no one knows what happens after you die.
No, you stole. Okay, you're an alien. You stole something, and they just put you here for a while, and you learn not to steal. Or maybe you didn't, or maybe you've learned that when you're an alien too. But now you're here, and you live a
So
whole other life.
are we reincarnated as human beings from aliens
No,
in
I'm saying
in
that
this
after you
situation?
die. I'm saying after you die, you go back to being. It's a simulation,
And
right? They put
okay.
VR goggles on you,
Oh,
and you.
so we're alive right now in our alien bodies, but we're like in a
Yeah.
cryo chamber living out
Yes.
this
It's like a video
experience.
game. It's like here, play this video game that makes you think you're actually,
Like the fucking what's the Rick and Morty one where it's like it's called like Fred or something like that,
I
right?
don't know. I haven't watched Rick and
You
Morty.
haven't watched Rick and you would love Rick and Morty, I think.
I don't like that animation. It's weird.
It's funny, dude. You should watch it. It's hilarious.
I watched SpongeBob and Family Guy.
No, but okay. There's this one like game in Rick and Morty where like you sit down in a chair, you put on like a VR headset, and you literally like live out an entire like life of this one guy named like Fred or
Yeah.
something, and it's
Oh,
like got all these different paths, and he's like Morty will come out of it, and he's like, oh, what just happened? And then Rick's like, you got cancer, nice one. You didn't pass the cancer stage, lose or like he's like, oh, you beat cancer and you went back to the rug store, like damn, like referring to how he played the game, something like that.
yeah. Yeah, like that. Except you just do whatever you want. Well, yeah, okay, yeah, and then I guess there would be like some sort of criteria
So are
for
we just
pass.
all aliens playing a video game right now?
Well, we're aliens in prison,
Are we
and
higher dimensional
rehabilitation.
beings playing a video game right now?
Sure, we can be whatever you want, but yes, we're playing a video game against our will.
Yeah,
But
like video.
being
I feel like video game theory is just like its own thing entirely. But yeah,
video game, we invented video
we
games, so
did
it's just
not invent video game
what do
theory,
you mean
dude.
we did?
Oh, we invented video games like as a human race, but like
Yeah, right. So it's like,
video game theory, like the theory that we live in a simulation or like a video game has been a thing for such a long time.
well, yeah, okay. All right, so you're just using video like simulation, like Matrix, all those kind of things, right?
Yeah, I guess. I was thinking
Okay.
more like crazy motherfuckers who are
Like
like, we're
what?
living in a simulation. I feel like it has some culpability to it. I don't know.
I had yeah,
There are
like,
definitely
honestly,
times where I'm just like, wow, we're living in a simulation. But yeah,
but why?
I think the marriage of mysticism and modern science and the modern scientific method is the next like big breakthrough that we're gonna have. Like the next,
You know that that hasn't already like. How do you know that it hasn't already been studied to the bone by
because it
modern?
literally hasn't.
Do you know that though?
Yes,
How do you know that?
because people still think that if you take LSD, your brain is gonna melt.
Yeah, but that's just because stupid. Wait, okay, you're saying science has made people think that, or people just. Well, what's your point with that? I guess I don't understand that.
It still has like a negative connotation and like a like just I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's just not seen as a tool, I guess.
But it isn't. I mean, it
In
has
my
scientifically proven
world,
how
in my like
many.
in my vision of the future, it is a tool. That's the thing.
All right, that's your vision of the future, though, and it's not based
Maybe
on.
okay, maybe not like ascending to the next dimension, but I definitely think that these types of things could be used as tools in terms of like introspection and the evolution of things like philosophy and what it means to be a human or like live on the planet and living with other beings that have sentience around you, and just like stuff like that, you know what I mean? Maybe not like science wise in terms of like physical things, but more of a renaissance of the mind and like
Yeah, but the mind is just a blob of chemicals, and you're just putting another chemical in there. So it's all science. No matter, there's nothing that isn't science.
well
That's,
when you say it like that, it takes all the fun out of it, man.
I know, but that's the point. It's you can't. I don't like saying.
You can't
You know,
art
oh,
okay,
yeah,
yeah, and
there's science over here,
my
and then
brain
over
has
here is
the
magic mushrooms, and I can make myself feel good. Or I can go have a trip with a magic mushroom, and it's like different, or love, or
didn't they like
whatever.
map
Feelings are
out
different than science, but it's all just chemicals.
didn't they like literally convert like the megabytes and like find out that the brain literally has like something like 628 like kilobytes of like actual data storage
Kilobytes.
or something like that? Yeah, like it's really
Yeah,
little.
small
It's
number.
very small. It's very small.
I thought. Well, I remember watching or reading something where there has not been determined a official limit of how much how much the brain can.
Okay, maybe I looked at some bullshit, but like I don't know, like just
We
like
can. I mean, yeah, we don't know, but
think like all of human history and all that shit, just equating it to like ooh, chemical blob. I don't know. That's so like that's
what it
so
is,
like
though.
I mean it is, but that's so like not to me it's just not giving the
It's
credit to
not.
the
It's not
human
romantic.
yeah, it's not romantic enough, man.
But why does it need a romance? Romance is also chemicals. It's an invention of
I
humanity, of an
I
animal.
I want there to be like a renaissance of like the mind, and everybody's just like
Okay, but what's but
you
why
know.
can't couldn't the renaissance of the mind be couldn't it happen while accepting that the mind is just a blob?
No.
Why not?
Yes,
We know how to
yes.
use the computer
Okay.
better and just be like it. We know it's a computer, but we can use it to achieve these other things.
Okay, yeah, yeah. In that sense, it
Right.
could. If you like say like, yeah, my mind's just a fucking blob, but like you're still conscious of the fact that this blob can create emotion and thought and like intense
Right.
things like that.
Yeah. I mean, well, an emotion and thought, and they're not any
They're
different
just
than the blob.
chemicals.
They are. They're just the inventions of the blob. But you can say that like you can say objectively that's what they are, but then subjectively, they're important to us, so we can use them to do other things
You
that
just
we
take
find
all the
useful.
chemicals out of your brain, Daniel.
Right.
Then you're just a blob. Then you're not even a chemical blob.
No, you're just nothing.
Fucking.
You remove all the chemicals from your brain, you're left with an empty skull.
I think that with the decriminalization of drugs, and specifically things like weed and psychedelics, that we are going to enter a renaissance of the mind in terms of greater thought and philosophy.
All right.
That is
I
my
like the thesis statement.
that is my thesis.
All right. Well,
More people are gonna be doing shrooms. It's gonna become less of a like taboo thing. More people are gonna be exploring their own minds and understanding what it means to be them and in a society and around
but
other
why can't you do that?
people.
Why can't you do that without being high? Like, can't you just introspect on your own?
It's
Because
not as let me tell you, it's definitely not as effective, and it gets way too dark when you're not like in a malleable state like that.
but right, everything you think is something your brain made up, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you can argue, but like at that instant, it's something your brain like created, right? It's just there. If you eat or smoke a mushroom or whatever, you're just putting some other chemicals in there,
Yeah.
and your brain's just gonna make up more random. You're just gonna make up more
Yeah,
stuff,
but
and some of it
it
might be
makes you
true
like
stuff. Some of it might be things that
it
are
makes
actually
you like
like
think
provable or
differently. Everybody is naturally a doomer, okay? Everybody always thinks the worst. Everybody
I
like
don't know about that. I
if you
wouldn't say I'm a doomer.
okay, very few people are naturally not doomers, okay?
But why though? What? How do you know that?
That's just the way that like our brains work. Like think about it. Like from like
It's just
hunter
yeah.
gatherer days, you're like, fuck, if I don't get food, I'm gonna die. Like
Well, that's not doomer. That's just fact. That's just why you have to eat. You can accept that and be optimistic. You can be like, but I'm confident that I'm gonna kill a saber-toothed tiger today, and I'm gonna eat it, and I'll be good. And then I can go do whatever I do because I'm a, early Homo sapien.
yeah, but then you're like, fuck, I have to kill a saber tooth tiger. I don't know. Maybe we're just thinking from two different perspectives.
That's just laziness at that point.
All right, whatever.
It's
But
just
like,
like
it's
I don't
also
want to
like
work.
fear and danger and like anxiety out of your own life and like understanding the concept of death and like what is that? Like,
Sure.
if
Okay.
I
Yeah.
die
But
to this saber tooth tiger, my family is gonna die because I can't bring home food and like all that shit.
yeah. But would you rather live without that?
It's a lot easier said than done. You know what I mean?
To live without it, or
To just like say like that's a fact of life and
oh yeah, for
I'm gonna
sure.
get over it.
But I would definitely. I mean, I feel they all those things, all those thoughts exist because they helped us live. So like, you can think, oh, I'm a doomer, but the people who are dead are more of a doomer than you. Like the earlier versions of humans, of humanoids, they were. Yeah, I don't know. You can't probably say it's
Yeah.
only this, but maybe they were more of a doomer, but they're dead now because our mixture of emotions and thoughts helped us not die,
Yeah.
and that's why we exist. So it's like I don't know. I'm
Either
fine with
way, either way, I don't know. I think it's gonna. I think that more research into it and like the more it becomes a regular thing in society is going to revolutionize how we look at ourselves and society and the world around us and our place in our circles and just everything else.
All right.
In a good way, in a positive way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I believe that. Like, it changes if it changes the way that you think, and it's not like just total random, total, crap, then you can think about things from a different perspective and whatever. That's
Yeah.
always helpful. So yeah.
Right, we're at like 55 minutes right now.
Oh yeah, we should probably end it.
What do you want to title this?
Magic, um, di- dimensions, and shrooms.
Dimensional magic mushrooms.
Interdimensional magic mushrooms.
Interdimensional
Magic.
interdimensional mushrooms of magic. Ooh.
Oh, there we go. What about shrooms of magic?
Shrooms, but you get like the alliteration with the M's, you know.
Mushroom. Yeah, okay, that's fair.
All right.
Mushrooms.
Goodbye. I'm Hungry Nation.
See you on the next one.
Comment, subscribe. Tell us what you think. Do you think higher dimensions exist?
And do you think we can access them by
Do you think that they're
Linux?
scientifically be able to be observed? Let us know in the comments. Bye.
Or if you look
okay.
it up,
Yeah.
tell us because definitely probably is some research out there that we don't know about right now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Let us know in the comments. Email us at 123hotmail. No, I don't know. I'm just kidding. Bye.